But when you came to me and you came in and I literally went, like, just looked at you. I didn't say a thing.
No.
I just looked at you and you go, oh my gosh, you are so beautiful. I remember that, and I remember I felt like the ugliest person because I didn't look like myself, you know?
Yeah.
I, like, my jaw went away, everything. You just said, you look so beautiful. And I remember it just, like, I just, I'm like, I'm going to marry this guy. He's going to take such good care of me, you know?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
By, like, 30 seconds in, I was like, nope, I do not like, I had the worst vibe. But let me fast forward back.
Vibe? I was a really nice kid. I was 14 years old. I was wearing a bright pink shirt. I was wearing a bright pink shirt. How could you have bad vibes about me?
No, babe, because you come in and like...
I had eyes for you. I'm telling you. Hey, everybody. My name's Eli. This is Colette, and welcome to our first podcast. Okay, so Colette and I just brainstormed some ideas, and what we're going to kind of do today is almost interview each other. Just ask each other some questions about our childhood, maybe, you know, what we look forward to in the future, just getting to know each other. And what's cool about that is it gives you guys a way to get to know us, and then also we might learn a little bit something new about each other.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get right into it, huh?
Yeah.
So we could talk about our childhood, but maybe we'll back up to that. But first, why don't we just tell them how we met?
Sure.
Why don't you just tell them how we met so that it'll give us some background. So I can start if you want.
Go for it.
So I'll give my perspective, and then you can give your perspective.
I love it.
Okay? Because I was 14 at the time, and you were 16.
Yep.
So I remember I got invited to my friend's party.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty friendly party. You know, we started at the mini putt course. And so I remember I was 14 at the time, so I wasn't driving yet. My mom drove me to this mini putt course, and she dropped me off. And I remember I got out of my car, and I looked up, and that's when I saw you in that circle of a couple other girls with you. And I just remember thinking, man, she's so beautiful. Just instantly, just like, man, there's something about her that really stands out. And so as we were kind of playing the mini putt course, I remember trying to talk to you a little bit, like, hey, if you make this or if I miss this, I'll give you $10 or whatever. And you completely ignored me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know till this day, like, if it was just because I'm young. We'll have to get into that a little bit. But it looked like I had no shot. But crazy here, we're married. But anyways, yeah, so that was the first interaction we kind of had. I wouldn't even call it an interaction. I just tried talking to you, and you kind of ignored me.
Yep.
Fast forward, we went to a park that day, messed around with the friends a little bit, just playing on the playground and stuff like that. It's crazy, isn't it? And then after that, we went to my buddy Josh's house, and that's where I really had eyes for you because we started watching a movie, and I remember that as we were watching this movie, all the couches were taken up, so there wasn't a spot to sit anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I got to improvise because I got to be able to have eyes on you. I got to be able to see you because you're so beautiful. And so what I did is I sat next to the couch. So here's the wall. The couch started here and went to the side. There was this little space in between there. And I sat there, and I remember I was sitting on this freezing vent because it was the middle of the summer. So my butt is just pretty much frozen at this point. But I did what I had to do to keep eyes on you. And I just kept thinking to myself, man, she's so beautiful, whatever. And that night, I remember texting you. That same night I texted you because what had happened is our friend took Colette's phone and followed me on Instagram. And I didn't even know you before that. So I don't know if something clicked in my mind where I'm like, hey, this girl just followed me, or maybe I didn't recognize it.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that night I texted you and we talked a little bit, but then we stopped talking for a couple months. So kind of explain your point of view from where we first met. Because my point of view is like, man, she's beautiful. I love her already. Like, let's hear your point of view. It's a little bit different than mine, I'm sure. But
well, mine is completely different because I thought he was a stalker. By like 30 seconds in, I was like, nope, I do not like, I had the worst vibe. But let me fast forward back.
Vibe? I was a really nice kid. I was 14 years old. I was wearing a bright pink shirt. I was wearing a bright pink shirt. How could you have bad vibes about me?
No, babe, because you come in and like...
I had eyes for you. I'm telling you.
No, this is eyes. Like, like eyes. But you're like...
Okay, anyways, see, I had bad vibes, I guess.
Okay, fast forward back a little bit. So my friend, who is the one that invited both of us to the birthday party, he was like, hey, come to my birthday party. It's like June 18th. And I was like not as close to him as I thought I was. But we're like, yeah, why not? Let's just go. And I was honestly not thinking about wanting to. I didn't really want to go. But I was like, it'd be fun. Let's just try it out. And I went there. And I remember my friend, the one who invited us, was like, "Colette, you're gonna love this guy named Eli. He has the best hair, and if you don't know
Yeah, he
me."
has the best hair, I remember that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he was like, "And if you don't know this about me, I love a guy with a good set of hair. Like, nice, healthy, clean hair. I don't know why. Like, people like guys' eyes, people like guys' smile. I love the hair. The hair's perfect, And you had the best hair I've ever seen." So when he pulled up his mom, I saw his mom.
Yeah.
Yep,
The
and
mom dropped me
I
off.
saw him in the passenger, saw him hopped out of the car, said hi to the guys, and instantly we made eye contact, and I'm like, "Oh, he's way too young. He is so young." Like, like pink freaking braces you had with your pink freaking shirt and your shorts.
Yeah, because you had your license at the time.
Yeah.
You were already driving, and I don't think I even had my,
Permit.
yeah, my
Permit.
permit. I don't even think I had my permit yet.
Mhm.
So anyways, keep going on. Yep, I was pretty young.
Um, and then I was mini golfing with my friend, and I remember Eli would just come right behind me, right behind me, right behind me, and then one of the courses, do you call it?
Yeah, just one of the greens.
One of the greens, he comes to me and goes, "Hey, I bet you $10 if you can or cannot get a hole in one." I forgot which one it was, but I got a hole in one. And I literally just looked at him and I just walked away. Did not say a thing. Didn't say, "Yeah, I bet it."
Oh, it was. I said, "If I miss this, I'll give you $10," and I missed.
You missed. And I literally just looked at you and just
Walked away.
walked away.
Did not say anything.
And I didn't even say, like, "Bet, like, I wanna see you get this." Nope,
Can I
did
add
not
something
care.
really quick?
Yeah.
And get this, guys. I'm behind her, and she's not even playing putt. Like, she's not even playing. Like, she's literally, like, dragging the ball with her club. Like, I honestly just thought about this now. You're probably just trying to get away from me.
I was.
That's crazy. I never even thought about that, but you were probably just trying to get away from me because you thought I was a weird kid at this point. But anyways, yes. Sorry. I just had to add that in there, but
That
keep
is
going.
so
Yep.
funny. So then, we're playing, then we hop in the car, and then we go to the park, play I don't see you look at me too much there. I'm kinda in my own little
Yeah,
room.
we were kind of separated.
Yep. I
Yep.
remember him doing a backflip when I was going down this path. He did a backflip off a tree trunk,
Yep.
and I was like, and then all the guys were like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." I just remember being like, "He is such a child."
I was trying to impress you. I was trying to somehow get your eyes on me.
Yeah, you definitely did. But then I had to go to the store to pick up like spray paint or something for the birthday party. So I left, and that's when you found out I was 16.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she ended up that's where I did the backflip on the tree or off the tree trunk or whatever, and she got in her car and she started driving away. And for some reason in my mind, I didn't know you were 16. I thought you were younger. And bunch of people got in the car with you and you're driving away and I'm like, "Hang on a minute. Is this girl driving
Yeah.
underage? Like she's not 16, she's driving a bunch of people in the back of the car." But turns out I found out you were 16 and I was like, "Man, I got to figure out what I can do to get you to like me," because I was 14, maybe a little bit immature. At the time too, I was making like dance videos on my Instagram, like funny videos to make people laugh, like dance videos. And I wiped them all.
I
Like
know. I
after I
love those videos
after I
though.
found out you were 16, I wiped them, deleted them all. It's like I got to look like a man for this girl. So, yeah, anyways, you went in the car, you had to go to the store and you left.
Yep. And I came back. We had pizza, very chill, and then we went back to our friend's house. Watched Black Panther. I sat on like this, like kind of like a chair like this with my friend, and we shared a spot. And I remember my friend being like, "Colette, this boy keeps staring at you." And I'm like, "Where?" And then she's like, "This guy right there." And she pointed at him, and Eli's like,
Boom.
just staring. It's like, and there's a kissing scene in Black Panther, and like me,
I
like
don't even remember that part.
16-year-old me.
I
Hold on. 16-year-old me was like, I don't really care for kissing scenes, so I'm like looking around. And as I'm looking around, I just see Eli doing the kissing.
I don't remember that. I still don't know if I believe that's true or not.
100%. Ask our friend. I bet.
Oh.
So then after the movie, I went home. I saw him in the car, remember?
Yeah, you walked by me.
I walked by you and
Yep.
you're like, so cute.
Did I wave at you?
You did wave at me.
Oh man, I thought I was embarrassed, so I didn't wave. But okay, so I waved at you.
You did
Yep.
wave at me.
Yep.
And then I left. And then once I got into my like neighborhood, DM from Eli saying, "Are you the girl with the half up, half down hairdo with the striped shirt, mom jeans?"
I don't know if I was that deep.
I still have a screenshot of that message because I thought it was like kind of creepy, but also kind of cute that he remembered my exact outfit. What kind of shoes was I wearing that day?
Sandals.
What color?
They were just tan.
I'm so proud of you. That's actually really good. See, that's 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago, and you still remember the outfit I was wearing.
Right. Yeah. Well,
So
that was a special day for me,
it
yeah,
was.
that's where I met
I know.
my wife, I mean and yeah, I'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah, keep going, sorry.
But no, you're fine. So then basically, we texted like a little bit on DMs. Like he'd ask me like, "Do you want to hang out? Do you want to hang out?" And I'm like, well, he's 14." I was like,
Yeah,
I don't want to. Like,
right,
sorry, So I kind of friend zoned him, and then 2 months later in August, it was your birthday, and I
yep,
saw that on someone's post, so I wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
right.
So I texted him saying, "Hey, happy birthday," and then he left me unread and like basically just cut me off.
Well,
Done.
you cut me off first, so,
I
like,
know, I
you
did.
left me on red, or I was trying to text you at the beginning, and you did not answer me anymore,
Right.
and then, like you said, you wished me a happy birthday, and I'm like, "Well, it didn't work out the first time," so I just didn't answer,
Yeah.
right? So
And then get this, a month later, I do volleyball, right? And I'm homeschooled, so I can do like I have to do like it at a school that accepts people, like kind of like outsiders, I guess you could say, who don't go to that public school or
right.
it's a charter school,
'Cause they
right?
don't yeah, I went to a charter school, we just didn't have enough players in our school because it was
Yeah.
so small, so yeah, we opened it up for basically, different homeschoolers to come play for our school. Yeah.
Yep. So then I go to this school. It's my game. So I'm having practice, 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 and then finally my first game. And I walk through the doors, and there's Eli. And I had no idea. I didn't have any idea they went to that school. I don't think.
No, the first time we saw each other again, you somehow we connected, and that's when you found out that I went to that school and you were gonna play volleyball, and that's where you came in the door and you gave me that hug the first time I saw you.
Yeah. So I saw him, and I'm like, I am a person who I hug
Yeah,
everyone.
you're a hugger.
I love
I
hugging
was not.
people. He was not. So when I hugged him, I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" He's like, "Good." It was so awkward. And I remember his friends were just kind of like just in the corner, just like watching. So I was like, okay. So I just kept walking. And
Oh
then,
my gosh. I remember that hug too, like, I still remember that feeling. It was like a just like a wave from my head to my toes, just like it was the craziest feeling in the world. Like, I still remember that exact feeling, and I was just shocked. I remember I looked over to my buddy, and he didn't see it. He wasn't paying attention, but I
right.
was like, "Dude, you just see that? Like, she just hugged me." Like, freaking out that I just got a hug from you. But no, I definitely I think that hug was a big, like, step into, like, man, the way that that made me feel, I'm really I really like this girl again, right? So, then you started playing volleyball for
So
us
then
and
we started playing volleyball. I remember my sister was doing my hair, and I remember I looking in the corner, and Eli was just like up in the far left, and
yeah,
up there, just like looking at me, and I'm thinking,
yeah,
man, he's kind of cute. But this is what got me like to text you and like want to pursue this was oh, this is so cute. So I was playing volleyball, and like when you're not playing volleyball, you're sitting on these chairs. So it's not like you're on the bench, but like you're
it was a bench, but
uh,
we didn't have, like, a straight bench, it was, like, individual chairs, right?
yeah, but
Yep,
you're like it's not like you're like out of the game. You're just like you switch because I don't know how to explain like the whole system of volleyball. But so I'm waiting to go in, and I see Eli from across the court, like going down the bleachers, and he's about to leave. And I see him like looking around, and I'm like, "Who's he
trying to
looking
find
for?"
you.
But he's trying to find me. And then once we made eye contact, he literally like waved like this, and it made my heart so whole. Like
I remember that.
I was like, I got butterflies like head to toe. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's actually so cute." And I like felt oh, I felt so good when you like because it was so sweet the fact that you took the time to make sure like, "Hey, I'm leaving." Even though we didn't even know that we were gonna see each other. We
Right.
didn't know like you were heading out, you know what I mean? Like you wanted to make sure like, Hey, I'm leaving, like see you later."
Yeah,
You were so
yep,
considerate of like saying goodbye. And I thought that was the sweetest thing. So that's what made me want to text you. So then that night I went to Applebee's with my grandma and my sister, and I texted him saying like, "Hey, thank you so much for coming to the game. It was so fun seeing you," or something like that. I don't know the
right,
exact things that
yeah,
I said, and then he was like, "Yeah, of course," and I was like, "You should come over and hang out with our friends sometime," and boom,
just started.
just started.
It started like that, and then after that, the start of our relationship, I guess you could say, or started dating, we didn't see each other a lot because, like I said, I was 14, so my mom or my dad, she'd have to bring me to Colette's house, and, they actually brought us on our first date to Applebee's and to the
Yep.
park that we met at, we went there again, and so it was definitely different, because, obviously we didn't want you driving me
Mm,
because it just I don't know, I believe in, like, not having the girl drive around and stuff like that, and it just didn't work out that way, and so, I thought that was awesome too when I turned 16 because I got my driver's license, and then that's where we, like, started officially dating,
yep.
so 15 and 16 to 17, we were, like, talking a little bit, liking each other, but 16, and then you were, 17 still, and then that's where we actually started dating,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where our relationship started to grow
Yeah.
really deep in there, and so
So we have actually like 5 anniversaries because like me and Eli are very sentimental people.
yeah, we are,
Like
yeah, we
I would
are.
like, would you consider me a romantic?
You're a romantic?
Me.
I would definitely consider you more of a like a sentimental romantic. Like you really like memories and you really like those yeah, yeah, I would say you are. Yep.
And I feel like you are like the definition of like a romantic, like the gifts and the flowers and like the massage. Like you're very like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're like a guy romantic. You know what I mean? Like there's two obviously different, like a girl romantic, guy romantic. I
Yeah.
feel like you're definitely like the most romantic. You're like the most romantic guy I've ever met, and it's so cute because every memory and everything that we do together means so much to us. So
Yeah.
it was October. So June 18th is when we met each other.
Yep.
October 3rd is when we started liking each other because we couldn't date because he had to be 16.
Right.
Um, and then it was
September 21st, I asked you to date me.
date you, and then June 16th is our wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy because like, and then March 18th is when you said you love me.
Yeah.
So like we have so many anniversaries. So every time like on the 18th or the 3rd or even like the 16th, we'd be like happy like 62 months, happy
Right,
like 12.
just keeping it, I don't know, like keeping it young, people say, but we are young,
Yeah.
so it's not like we're trying to keep it's just like it just it just makes it more fun just to remember those little things, and it doesn't hurt to just remember the first time I said I love you, just thinking about that, like, it just it's just kind of fun to think about.
Right. And it definitely keeps it like not even like young, but like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Like even like a simple message being like, hey, happy like 48 months because it takes time to figure out like
Yeah, I gotta sit there
what
and
day it is. You have to count how many
right,
months there is.
right,
And just the fact that you're like sending me that message is like, oh my gosh, he actually remembered like that was a day that we said I love you. And some people
right,
were like, I love you. And like, it is what it is. Like people don't really take, and that's fine. Some people are cool with that.
right,
Me, I love every little moment that I have with you. So like, if you text me saying happy 42 months of saying I love you, it makes my day 100%.
right. So tell me kind of when you were like, "Okay, I really wanna marry this guy," because, like, it's the opposite for me and you. So, like, for me, it was like, I wanna marry this girl today, and I was 14, right?
Really?
But, like, for you, I told you that
You wanted to marry me from the day you
okay,
met me.
I
Like,
obviously,
what
I
if I was like, what
couldn't.
if I was like a bad person?
Well, if you know when you know, you know. So maybe it basically what I'm saying is the first day I saw you, I'm like, "I really, really love this girl, like, there's something about her," right?
Okay.
So, like, yes, I knew I wanted to marry you really early on. Um, but you, on the other hand, were like, "I don't know about this, like, this guy, he's really young, he might be immature." But after I kinda showed you that I was a little bit more mature at the time and we started talking a little bit more, when was it like, "Okay, I really wanna marry this guy now?" Like, when do you remember? Was there like
I
a
do have a day.
there was a day?
It was a day.
Wow. Tell me about that day.
Okay. So obviously Eli's when he first met me, but mine, I loved you right away. Like I didn't know like if I wanted to 100% have a future with you because I wanted to get to know you because my dad always told me like a guy will fake himself for a year to 2 years to try to impress you, try to be like this amazing, perfect guy, and then all of a sudden,
Sure,
like once he has you, that's it.
sure.
Because some guys do that. So I was keeping my guard up, like I was being very careful. Eli was 100% real. From the first day I met him, he is himself 6 years ago to now. Like he has not changed. Obviously, like you grew up, but you've always been yourself, and that's what I love about you. But it was when I knew that I wanted you to be my husband was when I had jaw surgery.
Oh, yeah, that's right, and I got to take care of you. I love that because I don't mean to interrupt you, but that was, like, the first time I could come over, wasn't it?
Every
Like,
day.
every day.
My gosh, guys, this is like 2 years into our relationship, and after me having jaw surgery, he was able to come every day to take care of me, and my mom and dad were like, "Yep, it's fine." Like it's a new step because I was like, it, I was basically laying down, not doing anything, and
Yeah,
he could just hang out, take care of me. He would like rub my feet. He made me soup. You were just read me books, watch Friends.
I remember that,
That was the best. That
yes.
was the prime time.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But what made me fall in love with you is so I had jaw surgery. They broke my upper and lower jaw, and I was swollen. I looked like I shoved like 1,000 nuts in
I
my
remember I told
mouth.
you I wanted you to stay like that because I thought you looked so cute, but
Yeah.
obviously, like, you are more beautiful now than you've ever been after your jaw surgery. But anyways, keep going.
But and the thing is, my mom was before my jaw surgery. My mom would be like, "Hey Eli, how you feeling about the surgery?" Because this, like, I had the biggest underbite, and
You did,
it
yeah.
was so bad. Like my face up here was flat, my underbite was sticking out.
You could fit your pinky.
No, I could fit my whole thumb in
Yeah.
my underbite. It was so bad, and I remember.
And you couldn't. There was a point where like it was hard to eat.
Oh, I couldn't eat. I could barely eat anything. I always choked. It was just so embarrassing.
It
Because
wasn't even like for the reasons to like
look-wise.
look-wise. Yeah, it was
health.
just like physically you couldn't like chew your food.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So then my mom came up to Eli before the surgery and was like, "How you feeling?" And Eli's like, "I do not want to have surgery. She's beautiful the way she is. I
Yeah, I did
can't.
not want it.
Because you were like, I fell in love with her face like this. I don't want her to change." It was this huge thing. My mom was like, "Colette, Eli does not want you." And I'm like,
Right.
I don't care. I want to eat steak without choking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to eat food so bad. And then after my jaw surgery, I was so nervous for him to come because my face was so chubby and so bloated. I had bruises going down my neck. I remember my eyes were like so squished because my face was just like, it was
Yeah.
just so bad.
I remember when I came to the front door, and when you come to the front door, you kind of look diagonally and you can see this little crack, like to see in the living room where Colette was sitting. And I remember I saw you for just a second, and I think I started laughing, but I made sure you couldn't see me. But I can't remember for sure if I started laughing or not, but I remember like I saw you for a second. I was just like, okay, wow, her face is definitely swollen.
Yep.
Yeah.
But when you came to me and you came in and I literally went just looked at you. I didn't say a thing.
No.
I just looked at you and you go, "Oh my gosh, you are so beautiful." I remember that, and I remember I felt like the ugliest person because I didn't look like myself, you know?
Yeah.
I like my jaw went away, everything. You just said, "You look so beautiful." And I remember just like, I'm like, I'm gonna marry this guy. He's gonna take such good care of me, you know?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, that was such a good time because I got to hang out with you every single day. Sorry about that. I got to hang out with you every single day and really just have the opportunity to take care of you and to love on you and stuff like that. So I think that was a really pivotal moment in our relationship.
Oh yeah,
So I thought that was really cool. And then obviously now we're married, and we've been married for 1.5 years now.
Oh wait, you gotta tell them about our engagement story.
Yeah, our engagement story. Yeah, that's So I asked Colette to marry me when I was 18, so it wasn't even that much after your jaw surgery. Like,
You were 18?
I was 18 when I asked you, because I married you when I was 19. I asked you
No, you asked me
October.
October, so you were 19. I thought.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I'm sorry. I asked you when I was 19. I married you when I was 19 still.
Because it was 9 months. It wasn't a year.
Yeah, so I remember starting out, like, I knew I wanted to marry Colette. It was just about a matter of, like, getting the ring and finding the right time to do it, because I didn't want it to be cold outside and whatnot. So I remember officially deciding. I was at work. Like, when I was in construction, I was at work. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to ask this girl to marry her. Like,
what? Is that
yeah.
work? I didn't know that.
I'm almost certain that I was like working out in the field, and I was like, you know what? I really feel like I need to marry this girl. And so at that moment on, I think it was the same day I thought about it. And like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I called my mom and my dad. Like, I started letting people know, like, hey, just, I'm gonna ask Colette to marry me. And they were like, wow, congratulations. That's awesome. Good to hear and stuff like that. And like, for me being 19, like my parents, like they handled it like really well. Like, I can see where if I'm 19, like some people might be like, hey, like you're a little young, like wouldn't you want to wait? But like they were like, that's awesome. Like that was a cool thing that I got to share with them. But anyways, I remember making that decision, and the hardest part about that was just like asking your dad, because like I believe in asking for that permission to marry you.
Yep.
And I remember one day he was on his way out the door, because I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna ask Colette's dad now. And I said, hey, this is me talking to her dad. Hey, is there a time where you have a couple minutes to chat or something like that? And he turned around and he was like, you thinking about popping the question? Out of the blue. He just randomly said that. Like, how in the world did you know? So anyways, we found a time to talk about it. What had happened is me, him, and his son, we were bringing him to hockey. And so there's just like that feeling of like, he knows I'm going to ask him the question, but we can't talk about it because Christian was in the car.
Yeah.
That same day, you called your dad. You're like, hey, my tire just exploded on the side of the road. So now we have to go out of our route again. So we still couldn't talk about it, and we had to pick you up. Actually, you know
No,
what?
you did
No,
talk
we
about it.
talked about it. So we dropped Christian off. We talked about it for a little bit, and then we came and I fixed your or I took your wheel off and put it back on for you. But after that, like, it's just crazy how he knew. So anyways, like short story or long story short, he said yes, and now I had to go pick out the ring. I kind of found out what you wanted, what you were looking for, and I ended up purchasing that ring. Which funny, you're not wearing your ring actually right now
I know, sorry.
because you had to work today. But um, no, I purchased that ring, and the hardest part about asking you to marry me was finding out where to do it because I looked everywhere. I went to hotel like sky like on the top of hotels because Colette wanted she wanted a city view. Like that was what you wanted. You want something in the city, which in the pictures above us there was. You guys probably can't see that, but I remember I was with a buddy and crazy enough, like hotels, they were gonna charge me like $2,500 for an hour to set up.
So
2,500
stupid.
bucks. And I'm just like, I'm 19 years old. I don't really want to spend $2,500 on that. So what ended up happening is we found a parking ramp.
Mhm.
And I asked Colette to marry me on the top of a parking ramp. And I know it sounds kind of like weird, but we had a red carpet laid out. We had hearts with flowers. We had "Marry Me" sign on the ledge. It was just super beautiful. And so she ended up saying yes. But it's just crazy how all that all that planning I did for that engagement, it was like 2 months.
Yeah. You thought about it so well.
Yeah, I thought about marrying you, and then like 2 months later, I asked you.
Yep.
And I remember I got the ring and I was showing people in the house while you were in the house. I was like, "Hey, look at this ring I got Colette." Like,
And my mom's
showing,
like, "Eli, what are you doing?
yeah,
How
what
did
are you
you
doing
do
with that
that?"
in here? Like, what if she sees it? And so,
'Cause you're so excited.
yeah, that's how the engagement came about. And then, why don't you kind of tell them about the process of like planning for our wedding and
Yeah.
like, um, what was it like planning our wedding? And then let's just talk maybe a little about like our marriage so far, and then we'll kind of wrap the video up like that.
Perfect.
So tell them about like the wedding planning.
Well, the first month was always, like, so fun because, like, we got had to go to a function that week. So, basically, like and I posted on social media, so not, like, everyone, I don't mean to make it sound like everyone, but, like, our friends would be like, "Congratulations." It's, like, so fun because you're like, "Holy smoke, this is, like, so real." Like, I'm gonna be marrying my best friend
Right.
soon.
Everyone is saying congratulations,
Yes.
and
Oh,
it
it's so fun,
but
and
it's weird because it doesn't feel like you're getting married
mm-mm.
until like the day before the wedding, even the day of the wedding.
It was so weird.
Yeah, like before the day before the wedding, you're like, "Am I even getting married tomorrow?" Like it
Right.
doesn't feel real. But okay, anyways, keep going.
So then, so we, like it was fun, like we got home, and it's fun, like, showing off my ring. Oh my gosh, I love just having, like
Yeah, I
being
bet.
like, this is my fiancé,
Yeah, I had to
not my
wait for mine.
boyfriend."
I had to wait for mine.
I
How
well,
come
you
I
had
didn't get an
you
engagement ring?
I don't know, that's, like, a thing, but, like, you had your promise ring, though,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it was so fun because, like, just having, like, a piece of jewelry and just being like, "This is a symbol of, like, my fiancé." You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
But,
But wedding planning, I feel like you did a lot of it. Let's be honest. Like, yeah, I like helped out with little details here and there, but like you, at the end of the day, you did a lot of the planning, and I think the wedding turned out beautiful. Like even people came up to us and were like, "Hey, that was the most beautiful wedding that I've ever been to." And like
mhm,
that made me be like, "Hey, I wish I kind of got to see my wedding from their point of view
right, be guest.
because like if like you could probably agree with me, we don't remember a whole lot of our wedding day. Like it just went like that.
Yep.
Like the day went by so quick, but there's certain scenarios that I do remember that I'm going to cherish forever about our wedding day. And one of those was that last dance that we got to have together. Like what we ended up doing is after the wedding was over, we had everybody line up because we were doing like this grand exit, and then her and I got to share that last dance in that room alone. The DJ left, everybody left besides the videographer,
Right.
but it was still very like just you
Intimate.
and me. But um, yeah, leading up to the wedding, it didn't even feel like we were getting married.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what were you say?
Wedding planning, it was, like, my favorite thing because I'm such a party planner, so I love, like, making a list and then knocking on and my, the family that I nanny for, my boss actually got me who honestly, I don't even consider her my boss, she's, like, my best
She's
friend.
more of a friend. Yeah.
100%. But she got me, like, a bunch of, like, gifts and books of, like and if you did a 9-month engagement, here this is what you need to do. If you do a year engagement, this is what you need to do.
Or if this is your budget,
yes,
spend this much in this category.
best book
Photo
ever.
and flowers and yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that book. I love that book so much. And then So obviously, like, I went with this. So like, it was like, first, pick out your venue. Best part is going to venues and figuring out where you want to get married.
That's one thing I did really like doing, like, but it was kind of weird because there was a place that I really liked,
Oh yeah.
and there was a place that you really liked. So me, I'm more of like the rustic, like I like the old, like dark, like I like that. But you were like the really modern,
Modern,
like,
white, like natural lighting
yeah,
coming
natural
in.
lighting coming in, stuff like that. So we just had two different kind of approaches with how we wanted our wedding to look, but we kind of molded them together.
A little bit. I feel
So
like it was more on my side, though. I felt kind of bad about that because I really wanted you to
it
have.
was still really beautiful because they actually had two barns from where we were at.
That is true.
They had the cocktail hour barn, which was a little bit more rustic, and then where we got married was super grand, chandelier coming down, just super wide open, and I wouldn't change anything about our wedding.
Oh, me neither. It was
Like
beautiful.
the food was great, everything was good, but
But I also think my second favorite part was trying the food. We got to, like, for caterers, we got to, like, go to, like, the place. They gave us, like, a mountain full of, like, different kind of foods, try everything. Italian was, like, what we wanted.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was all free, so it was amazing.
Yeah, it was cool because when you guys end up getting engaged and stuff, you have to do this, but we could go into restaurants and they would actually sit you down and they would bring you fresh food that they cooked for you to try while you sit there, and they wouldn't charge you anything.
No.
Like, obviously that's a way for them to, like, get you to try it and then hopefully go with their service because it's costing them like a dime on the dollar, it's cheap for them.
100%.
But I agree with you, going and actually trying the food, bringing it home and experiencing, like, what kind of food do we want at our wedding. It made it really easy.
Oh yeah.
Well, there wasn't a lot of uncertainty. Like, we could go into our wedding knowing, like, hey, the food's gonna taste great, our venue's beautiful, right? So
Yeah, and then, like, I think, like, the venue and the caterer, like, what I've heard is, like, you always want, those are the two things you always need to get done first. Like, in the wedding dress. Obviously, you need to get the wedding dress because you need to get altered and stuff like that.
because those are the biggest purchases, and those are
I
the
would say so.
biggest, like, parts of the wedding. Like, get the big things done and then handle the little details after those things.
Yep.
So yeah, I would agree with that.
And then, like, also, like, the DJ and, like, all that. But, like, it was amazing because we grew up with our DJ who was our DJ in our wedding, and he did the most amazing job. I think, like, my favorite part, like, obviously, like, the ceremony was beautiful. I love getting married to you.
Yeah.
But I love the dancing. It was so, like, on fire. It reminded me, like, of, like, a prom.
Feels like
even
everyone
crazier.
was out there.
It was so, like, energetic and so crazy.
Yeah. I think pretty much everybody was on their feet.
Everyone
And,
was.
like, even when we were doing our first dances, like, we have videos, like, when Colette and I were doing our first dance, like, the father and daughter dance, like, everybody was watching.
Yep.
Like, there wasn't anybody going to grab water, or, like, right?
Yeah, I
like,
noticed that too. Everyone sat down and watched us. I thought that was the most, like, precious thing.
yeah, like, everyone sat down and was just staring, like, watching the dances, and I really appreciated that. Like, everyone was really taking it in. That made the day special, Not that there's anything wrong with other people doing their own thing, but it was just really cool to go back to that video and see, like, how much people did, like, take in our wedding day and hopefully had a really good time,
Yeah.
Yeah, so now that we kind of just touched on our wedding a little bit, like, obviously in other podcasts we're going to be able to touch more on this, but this is like a super, like, almost a surfacey level. Like, yeah, we got into how we met, stuff like that, but let's kind of talk a little bit about, like, marriage the first year and a half. Like, being newlyweds, it's amazing. A lot of things have changed because Colette and I, we didn't move in with each other before we got married, right? We hung out every single day,
Yep.
but we didn't live together. We didn't
sleep in the same
share a
bed.
bank account, sleep in the same bed. Like, so many things changed when we got married, but yet it still kind of feels the same.
Yeah, that's like what our friends, like, asked us. Like, we've been together for 6 years, and yet
Right.
we're still getting to know each other. We're still getting, like, wait, you like doing this? Wait, you don't like doing this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you think you know somebody, but when you get married, it's a whole different level of getting to know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so different to me, and it's like a good and bad. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I'd be like, oh man, I didn't know that about you. To have not paid attention, but it's also normal for you to. It's like you never stop getting to know the person you love.
Right.
It's always like something's changing, always
Right.
something's growing, something's always doing something different. You know?
Yeah, and I think that makes it fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes it fun. Things are changing a little bit, so not every day is the same.
Right.
And I think, like, the first year and a half of our marriage, like, one thing that really is been on my heart is, like, not getting in the routine, because, like, I got a new job and Colette, she's doing her nanny twice a week and whatnot. And I think it's really easy to get caught up in like going to work for, 8 to 10 hours a day, coming home, maybe watching a movie or something, and then going to bed, right?
Yep.
Like, that's what I don't want. And that's what you don't want either. And so like that, I think as far as like marriage, like maybe we saw ourselves getting into a routine a little bit,
Yep.
but I think that right now, like we're getting to like break that, and we're starting to be like more intentional with hanging out, doing things more, outside of watching like a movie and stuff like that, like being more like hands-on activities and stuff
Right.
like that. And that's one thing that I've been really liking about marriage. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of marriages probably struggle with that, like getting into a routine, because it's probably so easy to do that, especially with kids, but that's why we're able to work on those things right now, solidify those things, make sure everything's good, and then start thinking about our future and kids and whatnot and stuff like
Yep.
that. So what's been like one takeaway from you from marriage so far?
I love being married is amazing. I love that basically you could get like an endless amount of sleepovers with your best friend. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, that was hard. Like every night I'd have to leave like at midnight or something. I'd have to drive home and go to my bed and sleep, and then do the same thing the next day.
That was the worst. Yeah, you'd leave like at 11:40, so you can get home at midnight, get sleep, and then just see right in the morning the next day.
And I was waking up early to go to work some of those days. Like it was crazy. And then I have one last question for you, just to kind of wrap up the podcast. If you're cool with that, like,
Yeah.
what's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody who's looking to get married, or actually, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a newly married person? Even though we're a year and a half in, we don't have all this wisdom, but what's a piece of advice you'd give to somebody who just got married?
I would say be patient with each other and...
Yeah, you definitely had to work on that one a little bit. Yeah, I pushed your
Sorry, I
buttons a
didn't
little
mean to
bit.
be like looking
Work
like
on
that.
it a little bit.
Be patient with each other. This is just going to you. No, this is actually like me too. Like being patient with each other and communicate. Communicating is always so good. You always want to over communicate than under communicate, because what's gonna happen? Like, what's the bad thing that's gonna happen if you over communicate? Nothing. They actually show that you're like, hey, I'm over communicating because I care about you and I want to show that I'm interested in your life. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's like it shows a lot of respect for them. Like, even though it's taking me like another few seconds to tell you what's going on, or like, hey, this is how I feel. It's so good to over communicate than under communicate to me. So I would say communicate well and be patient with each other.
Perfect. Yeah.
What about you?
Those are great. I would say let the little things go. They're a waste of time, They're a waste of time.
They're a waste of time. Okay.
No, I strongly do believe that. Like, I think if it's something that's not going to affect the marriage itself, I think it's just let the little bickering go. Like, it's completely normal to bicker with each other, right? But like, don't get caught up on those little things, and just try to enjoy life. Life is short. Just let the little things go and never stop dating. I think that's huge.
That is
Always keep dating. Like I said, stay out of that. Don't get into a routine. Make sure you guys are going on dates. Quality time is huge, I think.
Yep.
And focus on building a relationship each and every single day. Even though you're married, you guys are still dating.
Yep.
So
that was amazing.
there it is.
Good job.
Got our first podcast done.
We did it.
Let's go. Well, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed our first episode. We're going to be trying to do an episode every single week. So if you guys did like this video, make sure you subscribe and turn on that bell. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.